Hello everybody, it is me again. They do call me Kraken. This shouldn't be a very long video. We are working on this end grain board right here. And looks like I got a spot here I didn't quite get. And we're about to do the water pop. Sorry about that. There was a little spot there and I don't know what it was. Man, that thing is smooth. So far we have it sanded up to 220 grit. And what we're going to be doing is sanding this up to 340 grit. 320 grit. That's my last stage right there. This board will not get a finish yet because it has Purple Heart in it. And when you sand Purple Heart, it turns brown. So this is Purple Heart. It's kind of a brown color. And this is not the color that it is supposed to be. This is the color that it is supposed to be, right? See? So, big difference in the color in these right here and that piece that I just showed you. And so what you do after you sand it, when you sand it, it turns a brownish color. So what you do after you sand it is you put it out in the sun for a few hours. It usually doesn't take that long, but for a few hours, and it brings all that bright color back. Something about the UV rays in the sun really just kind of activate it. And so we don't have any sun right now. So, and it's bitterly cold out here. So this Saturday, we're supposed to have some sun. Before I go to work Saturday, we're going to take this out. We're going to set it out into the sunlight. We're going to let the sun do its magic. And then Saturday, sometime evening, we'll come back and we'll put a finish on it. However, we're going to do the water popping, which is raising the grain before we do the final sanding. And when we do that, you're going to get an opportunity to see what this board will look like when it does have the finish on it. And it'll dry. What we're doing is we're adding water to it, and the water will make the colors just kind of pop. Just understand that the Purple Heart is a kind of a brownish color right now, and it will turn much brighter purple. But this is what this board is going to come out looking like when it's done. And so I call this a chaos board, right? And I think it's a fairly common term for this board, this style of board. And essentially what it is just randomness, right? And you can get really extreme with the random patterns. And so the way you achieve a board like this is you take a glue up. In this case, we had two different glue ups, two completely different glue ups. And you take those and you put them together, right? So you get your glue ups, and when the glue ups are done, you cut it into strips. Then you rotate it onto the side, the strips onto the side, so that the face grain is pointing up instead of the edge grain or the face grain being pointed up, right? So we're turning it into an edge grain board. You cut it into strips, and then you lay those strips back down. And in this case, we use two different boards to do that with. You lay those strips back down, and it creates this kind of random, chaotic pattern that is just some reason really appealing, right? And this is what it is going to look like. And so we're not putting a juice groove in this board. This is more of a butcher block. And so we're not putting a juice groove into this board, and we're not going to put feet on this board because it's heavy enough that it doesn't need them. And so this is what this board will end up looking like when it gets the finish on it. Now, you can get even more random with the pattern if you would like to. And so if you wanted to get more random with it, what you would do is, after it's at this stage, you'd flatten it one more time, and then you would take it into the table saw and you'd cut it into strips yet again. And then you would randomize those strips, put it back together, glue it up, and then cut it the other direction. And you could do that an endless number of times. And the more you do it, the more random and the smaller the patterns get. I liked it like this. I thought it looked really good like that, and so I left it like that. This is cherry, and then we have some elm in here. We have black walnut. We have purple heart. We have Osage orange, or mulberry. I'm sorry. We have mulberry. We have some oak. We have both white oak and red oak in here. And we have some pecan in here. This is pecan, and this is pecan, this is pecan, that and that are all pecan. And so there's a wide variety of woods in here, but I just wanted to bring in here, and I just wanted to show you what this looks like. As soon as we can get it out in the sun and get that purple, that bright purple color back, then we're going to put a finish on it. This is going to be up for sale. This board will be up for sale at $135, and it is 2 inches thick. It is 2 inches thick. It is 12 inches wide by 11 inches wide. So it's 11 inches this way, 12 inches this way, 2 inches thick, inch and 3/4 thick. We've cut hand holds, hand grooves right here to make it easier to pick up, move around, and this board will be at $135. It is an end grain butcher block. It's a small end grain butcher block, something that you would put into a kitchen, and you would use it for cutting meats. All right, you can use it for vegetables also, but butcher block is typically, it got its name because they're for cutting meat bone. The advantage to an end grain board over an edge grain board, and one of the reasons why they're more expensive. They're more expensive, one, because it takes a lot more wood to make an end grain board than it does an edge grain board. This board started out, not this board, the other board that I have started out 3 feet long. It's over here somewhere. Anyway, I've got it around here somewhere. It started out 3 feet long, and from that board we got this strip, this strip, this strip, this strip, and this strip. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips, and then an 18-inch board. So 36-inch board turned into 18. This is 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, if that's 2 inches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 18. Nope, it's not even 2 inches. So that's 1 3/4. So we got 17 inches out of the other board, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.5 inches out of this one. So we lost 12 inches in the board making an end grain board. So you lose, it takes more wood to make an end grain board. You lose length when you flip it up and turn it the other direction. Second reason is because there's more than one glue up. In an edge grain board, typically you only have one glue up, and then it's the rest of the work on the board and you're done. It's up for sale. Not to try to make it sound simple, because it's not. It takes quite a bit of time to make them, but there's not as much in doing that as there is in doing this. So that's one of the reasons why these are a little bit more expensive. The advantage to these, though, is that because the edge grain is oriented differently than the edge grain is oriented differently than the end grain. The end grain is easier on your knives, and so it keeps your knives sharp longer, and it does not damage the surface as easily as an edge grain or a face grain board, right? A long grain board. Edge grain, face grain, they're both long grain boards. This is a end grain board. And end grain boards handle knife cuts a whole lot better, and they tend to be a lot easier on your knives and keep your knives sharp longer. So these are more expensive boards. We will be doing quite a few more end grain boards. I'm still going to be doing edge grain boards. An edge grain board this size right here would probably be right at about $100, give or take. But this one right here is $135. So if anybody's interested in this board or the other one that I have somewhere, y'all can see pictures of it. Hit me up, shoot me a message, let me know. We'll catch you guys later on. Y'all take care and peace out.